Good afternoon, traders and investors. Hope you guys had a good day. Last day of the week, short week this week. Hope you guys were able to write some premium into the weekend if you found some plays that were to your liking. Market provided us some good opportunity there on the downside this morning to get some good positions lined up for next week. So let's have a look. Now, S&P 500, as you guys can see, we started off the day coming into the lows here and then immediately rejected. Now we're trying to kind of reverse the hourly time frame here. So we got a reversal on the hourly time frame. We're going to look to set a higher low compared to this low right here. And if we could successfully do that on Monday into next week, we will have recaptured our hourly. 4 hours still looking good. And the daily continuation is still on the table at this point. You remember I was looking for this 12 EMA. Didn't quite get to it. Came right up to this little support area here, previous resistance, also big support line up here. So we're looking pretty decent for continuation of next week, but obviously nothing's guaranteed. I actually like the setup on the S&P 500. As you can see, not overbought on any time frame. 4 hour MACD is kind of curling over here to the upside. 1 hour is kind of already ahead of us. Nothing's overbought, nothing's oversold. We're kind of looking in a good position here. Let's take a look at the other indexes. So the NASDAQ for today. NASDAQ came right down into our 12 EMA, got rejected hard off of both the EMA and this beautiful support, previous resistance, holds up as support for the first touch. So that is something you always want to see. Hourly here was getting oversold coming into yesterday here. This morning, if you can see, look at this divergence. There was some beautiful divergence here. Right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful divergence here to the upside, obviously. So that gave us some nice little continuation of the upside here. Struggling with our previous support, which is now resistance level at the top here off of this big bull move. But it's allowed us to regain some of our hourly control. Tons of space now. Tons of space to set a higher low compared to this guy right here and potentially start pushing through this area. So that will be the scenario that a lot of people are going to be looking for. That's what we're going to be looking out for on Monday for continuation. Have the bears, is this the end of our bull flag? Remains to be seen, but a lot of names, like look at Google today. Google today is really starting to push up there, guys. Really starting to push up. We look at Microsoft as well. Microsoft now above, charging into this resistance from August, 6-7 month area here. We haven't been here in 6-7 months, but Microsoft, as you see, if we compare this to QQQ, QQQ is not above its little resistance area. Microsoft has broken it now on the daily. Google has broken it now on the daily. Let's take a look at Apple. Apple still kind of in line with the QQQs here. So we have a couple big tech names breaking their respective areas of resistance. Amazon still not above it. So you see Microsoft and Google have pushed through. Amazon, Apple, still kind of lagging a bit behind, but that's okay, guys. That's okay. Got to give them some time, right? Now, looking more over the defensive sides, not much of a day on the Dow Jones here. Still looking out here, however, for our cup and handle. Is this going to be upside? Or maybe potentially we get an inverse head and shoulders, something like that? Either of those two patterns, excessively bullish patterns. And if they follow through and we break this little area of resistance here, man, I mean, if we get back up there, guys, we'll only really be about 6% off all-time highs for the Dow Jones. So we're looking good, really looking good on the defensive names as well. XLV's been doing a lot of the carrying today. You see the gap up open today again, holding here to the relative highs. We're getting slightly extended, if I do say so myself. If we look over here on the 4 hour time frame, heavily, heavily overbought here on the RSI. MACD starting to want to roll over. Hourly, severely overbought. But as you can see, guys, we can stay overbought for quite some time and even push higher. Look, here was the highest area on the RSI. And since then, we've pushed higher, but the RSI has been going lower, aka divergence. So you may get a pullback on XLV. Nothing to be worried about, though. We're looking, the most likely scenario at this point for the XLV, healthcare, if we do roll over, we're going to set most likely the higher low compared to this guy right here. So much space to set a higher low. And that would give us if we can't clear this resistance area here on this push move up, I'm going to be looking for some consolidation, maybe towards this 200 daily moving average, which we're now above. It's very nice. Then we can get some momentum. We need to accumulate more positions, right? get a nice little pullback, accumulate more positions, then try to smash through. Let's look at financials, the other big component of SPY. Financials got a nice little recovery here. Not going to lie, nice little recovery on the day. Still holding, refusing. We got some comments this morning from Bullard. And for the most part, he didn't really say anything too bullish. But then again, he also didn't say anything overly bearish. And Bullard is kind of known for saying bearish things, you know? And he didn't really say anything too negative today. And immediately after he stopped speaking is when our markets started to kind of rally here, right at about 10:30. So when we started this upswing here, after he was done talking. But it's funny. Sometimes, you know, sometimes they just use these news catalysts, I assume, to, you know, move markets in a certain direction, what or not. So I guess today, no news was good news from Bullard. Tomorrow, don't forget, we got the non-farm payrolls. Will it be a case of bad news is good news? If we lose jobs, will that contribute to Powell wanting to taper off on the rate hiking cycle? He said he was going to do one more. Maybe if we get some more negative jobs and inflation comes in better than expected next week, we may get no increases on the next meeting. And he may be, you know, as long as we can get Powell to acknowledge that the job market is cooling down, because so far he hasn't acknowledged it. He's acknowledged inflation's been coming down. They've been doing a good job there. But as long as he doesn't acknowledge his mandate, right? The two mandates, right? Full employment and inflation. That's the only two jobs the Fed has. And so far, he said last meeting that he was pleased with the work that they had done against inflation. Now, the second part is the job market. So a lot of speculation out there. If jobs come in lower, it could actually be good news for the next time that Papa Jerome speaks to us. If he can acknowledge that the job market is cooling off, well, you may get your Fed pivot earlier than anticipated. So let's move on to now the Russell, last of our indexes. Russell kind of holding here towards the lower levels on the day here. Didn't have an overly bad day, but what you really want, you know, guys, is we failed to make a lower low here compared to this low. I mean, it broke it by a few, but I don't really count this, right? Same move. And then we got a really nice push, making a daily higher high compared to this guy. That's notable. And now what we're trying to do is we need the higher low here, guys. We need the higher low to start forming soon compared to this level down here. And as long as it starts forming, then we'll see if we can actually crack to the upside or need further consolidation before potentially moving to the upside, guys. Because as I've been saying in my last few videos, Russell is lagging the other indexes hard, and that's why it's some of our trade ideas. Let's look at semiconductors, the big semiconductors on the day. So NVIDIA started the day red and ends up green, closing near the highs, right? So that's why I'm saying, guys, like, you don't want to short things too early. As long as we're still in a daily uptrend with higher lows, don't try to force the short. As I was saying yesterday, I know you guys want it. Everybody wants it. And that's the exact reason why they're not giving it to you yet. You have to wait. Just wait for us to lose this beautiful uptrend. And as soon as you see a sign, like, look, now this higher low was significantly higher than this one, right? However, now if this is the new low, it's not that much higher than our previous higher low, right? What you want to see is NVIDIA struggle up here and then reverse the daily uptrend, guys. If you can see us reverse the daily uptrend in a decent, convincing manner to where next week, let's say we do something like this, right? And then you want to come up and use this support as resistance and take a short there and put your stops above here, that's a good trade. That's a good trade. I would accept that as trying. It would be an aggressively bullish trade, but at least you're waiting for some form of confirmation that we've lost a daily uptrend, right? But if you're just trying to short the highs, if you've been trying to do that every single time, you know, there's some little scalps here and there, but for the most part, you probably would be underwater if you're doing that. So don't try to do it. It's never good picking tops and bottoms. You got to wait for continuation, right? AMD, as I was saying, still in this nice little bullish channel here. I wasn't, you know, on this day, I was saying I wouldn't want to write puts in this area. I would be comfortable writing puts in this area here, right? Around the 86, 87 zone, because you combine our support level here with our bullish trend line here, And on the weekly, if you guys can see, that's where one of our 12 EMAs is also lining up. So you kind of got to, if you're trying to write options like I'm doing, right, you got to look for confluence. You're looking for a lot of things to line up in one place to give yourself the best odds possible. Now, is it going to be 100% win rate as even if you line up the most amount of indicators that you can? Obviously not, guys. Everything isn't, nothing's guaranteed in these markets, right? Anything can move against you. Bad piece of news could come out, which affects only semiconductors or the entire market. And then, as best as you've planned out your trade, it can go against you. But if you're always trying to line up the most amount of confluence, right? Number one, you need to want to own the stock. Please, please, please write these options. If you're writing options, if I have one, I can't give financial advice, but if I have it's something that I can share from you, I only do companies that have positive earnings, positive free cash flow, and that are growing revenue, growing EPS year over year, right? So you got to put those, at least the fundamental odds on your side. Number 4, I guess at this point, you want to be writing them at support, right? Very important. And number 5, you want to be finding things that are in a confluence of zones. So if you can line up the support, a general support level with some moving averages, perfect. And the larger the support timeframes, right? This is a big support level on the weekly, daily, 4-hour, you just want to line up the most amount of things in your favor to make this happen, right? So AMD, I would be very interested. Today would have been a good opportunity. You could have found some puts potentially down here in the 87 area. I wasn't looking on it because if you guys have watched my previous videos, my semiconductor play is ON. If you look at this area, right, 74, right, the 74 to 72, 70-ish area here, that is a good level, right? And we're still in a weekly uptrend on ON. We've never lost it, right? If you look at AMD, we're starting to recover the weekly uptrend, right? We're starting to, right? So it is in a weekly uptrend. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not. Yes, it definitely is. But compare this support level, relative support level, right, in this small uptrending bullish channel to something that's a bit more stable, like ON. Personally, I'm choosing ON. You guys are free to do what you want. I would be lying if I told you guys that I didn't have AMD as an underlying long position on my portfolio that I picked up earlier when it was in the low 70s. However, for the purpose of my weekly options writing leading in next week, this is my semiconductor play. So, a few other things moved up on the day. Nothing much notable. If we take a look at healthcare, the large movers in healthcare, Johnson & Johnson, as you can see, overextended on the daily, overextended on the 4 hours. I'm personally not buying up here. There's a large gap to be filled. We have to, kind of as I've been saying on the other charts, guys, we have to give them, there's so much space now to set a higher low on the daily time frame that personally, I'll be waiting for it. Now, do I like this play for further continuation of the upside? Absolutely love it, because how many times in the last 10 years have we lost the weekly 200 EMA? How many times? Once in 2020. This anomaly in 2015 where we literally stayed there for a week, not even a week, pulled back above it, sat on it for 5 weeks after, pushed up higher. Touched it, pushed up higher. Sat on it for about 10 weeks here, pushed up higher. COVID 2020, you guys all know what happened, right? Crashed, a lot of things crashed through their moving averages. Now, as you can see, break down below it, hesitate there for a while, push back above. So if we can come back here and get a little retest of here, decent trade, right? Another big healthcare names, UNH. I mean, UNH hasn't come down nearly as much as the rest of them. More defensive play that I was looking at, telling you guys, Costco, lot of tightening range here, big tightening range. When this range, the volatility that'll happen after this range breaks will be fairly interesting. Costco today, they got hit with some negative news, as you can see down here. Same store sales drop in nearly 3 years as it's a wash point for retailers. But this stock, I'm not really concerned about the future guidance and future forecasts of this stock. We've been accumulating positions now for a better part of the last year and a half, right? Been stuck in this little range right here. If you look at the price to earnings here, Price to earnings, we're sitting at about 36, which is about 2 times the SPY, but this usually trades rich because it's a, it's a Wall Street favorite. It's also a Main Street favorite, so a retail favorite as well. Not too worried, but if you're looking to start a position in Costco, I mean, you could always wait for a further downside. However, I have a long-term portfolio that I average into every 2 weeks or every month. And I'm still adding Costco at these levels because I still think it's a good deal relative to where we were. Still 20%, 22% off all-time highs there. So I'm personally adding it to my portfolio. And with that, let's take a look on the wrap-up for the cryptos. We're going to do some little cryptos quick here. Bitcoin, not much to say about cryptos, guys. Bitcoin, once again, testing the 12 EMA today. Rejected from the highs, coming back, still stuck in this massive range, right? Massive range. I mean, you're kind of looking at the bullish triangle formation, right? The tighter this gets, usually this is a bullish continuation pattern. As I was saying, stands to argue as well that there's a lot more shorts to take out up here than there are longs to take up out here. Most of the people long on this trade were probably long from down in this area. So, they're probably still riding. The people who've started new long positions in this area, as opposed to new shorts, the shorts must outnumber the longs in terms of volume and money. So it wouldn't surprise me if the market makers, they do choose to do a quick stop hunt, it would be to the upside. If we do choose to actually give the true move and go for full continuation, as I've been saying, we got to look at our levels. Next level resistance here, 31.9, 32-ish, this whole little zone right here. That's what we're looking at on Bitcoin. As I was saying with Ethereum already broke this zone, right? So Ethereum already broke this zone, and it's doing exactly kind of what you want to see when you do a quick, fast break of a zone, right? What did it do? Breakout, retest, right? Breakout, retest. How much of the move did we give back off the breakout? Not even 50%, which lets us know that bulls are still healthy. Bulls still want to control this time frame. Potentially, I mean, it's been a while since we've got some big movement over the weekend. But as this daily candle is kind of forming up, daily doji on the close, right? We're testing this area now as support. Very, very notable to me. So will Bitcoin follow through with its brother in Ethereum? Let's see how it plays out, guys. Probabilities wise, I mean, I would be betting on continuation, not financial advice, of course, but something to be watching out here. Do we get the follow-through break on Bitcoin because Ethereum has chosen to lead the way? Looking at ETH BTC, right? Today, a little bit of a pullback because both Ethereum and Bitcoin dropped. But, are we setting a new daily uptrend potential on ETH BTC? So will Ethereum be taking over for this second leg of a potential larger move here? Remains to be seen, guys, but that's what's notable to me. All right, let's go over to our 3 plays that I've been referencing over the last 3 days, the plays for next Friday expiration, starting off with Tesla. So Tesla, didn't go over Tesla, my bad, guys. Sorry about that. So Tesla, once again, breaking down into our area. We were looking for the gap fill. That's exactly what the market gave us today. Pushed down as low as 179 on the day, 79.74-ish. And as you can see, recovered nicely. What happened here? Tried to push for the hourly lower low. What happened? Engulfing, right? Engulfing. The bulls took back the entire move. What we'll be looking for here is, can they reverse the hourly uptrend one time frame at a time? They can reverse the hourly trend. We can go for a 4-hour trend reversal, which can lead us back into our daily trend continuation, guys, right? Or the tightening up of this range. But anyhow, that's what we're looking for on Tesla. The prices this morning provided us some good entries for next week in the exact zone we were looking for, bottom end of this range. 170, I was saying 170 to about 175-ish. 180 is kind of a bit rich at this point. I was saying yesterday with our close, 180 is a bit too close. So we kind of moved down a little bit here from the 165 to 175 area for next week. And let's go have a look on the premiums for Tesla. So our premiums for Tesla, let me pull that up for you guys. Sorry about that. All right. So as you can see now, we're looking for our 0.5% to 1%, right? I don't know why this keeps switching around on me, but we'll see here, right? So We're looking for our 165 to about 175 range. 175 is kind of close, guys, in my opinion, at this point. So we're going to be, where's our 0.5%, right? Well, our 0.5% at this point is sitting in the midpoint between 167 and 170. So 170, right, would be putting us kind of, you know, about $15 off. So what is that, about 7% off current price, right? So this is about our 0.5% play. If you want to be a bit more conservative, maybe Tesla. I mean, Tesla, I know because I was watching them all day. But if you would have had it at the lows here, you could have got 0.5% the 165s, right? 165s, the profile. Can I pull up the chart here? I don't think I could pull up the chart on this one. No, unfortunately not. However, let's get rid of this. All right. So if we see our 167.5 area, if you look for a little dip, if we get a potential little dip retrace on Tesla on Monday, you may be able to find it, your 0.5% on these levels here. Keep in mind, we do get theta decay over the weekend, but for now, our 0.5% level sitting at the 170 mark, our 1% level sitting at about 175, right? You get $1.75, 175 bucks for a $175 strike. So that would be your 1%. 175, you know, kind of close considering our range, right? 175 would put us about right here, which would be below this little support area. If you really want to target the bottom, you want to be looking at 170 and below. All right. That's the level I'm looking at for, I already have my position in for, I took it today, as a matter of fact, for next week on Tesla. However, if you guys still don't have a position and you're interested in picking up some Tesla shares, if you are familiar with writing puts and you want to write puts in those areas, that would be my opinion that's what I look for, at least, guys. Not financial advice, of course, but that's what I'm looking at for next week. Now, my semiconductor trade here. So let's see what ON is doing. ON here, close at the bottom end here today. Still a few gaps to be filled. One little gap here on the upside. There was a small little gap here today as well. If you notice that on the daily open here today, small little gap. It did pretty much get filled during the day. But as you can see here, what are we trying to do? Same thing, right? Hourly lower low. We want to know, can the bulls hold this higher low right here and reverse the hourly pattern, right? So today provided me a good entry for next week on the put side. So for 0.5%, 1%, I don't know why I keep opening that window, guys. My bad. 0.5%, 1% on this side, right around our 72 to 70 area, right? If you're looking for 0.5%, half of 70, 35. So that's our little position here, will be the 70 strike. Lower in the day today, you were able to get them at 69. 69, all right? And for your full 1% play, you're kind of stuck here between 72 and 73. Bit too close for my liking at this point. So I'll stick with the 0.5% play for this week, and that would be the trade on ON. We're trying to make a play once again, bottom end of this range, anywhere between, I really like the 72. 72 is really my sticky point, right? So if you can get the 69s, the 72s, in my opinion, that's the range that I'm going for here. So looking at our last play that I want to do a quick recap on, the Russell. So the Russell, very, very, very interesting trade here. So as I was saying, this is the bottom end of our range here from about the 169 to 164 level. As you can see, daily push higher, right? Above this area here, trying to set the higher low compared to this low here, guys, on the daily time frame, right? We're trying to do it. We're going to need some support from the financial sector, but as of now, we're trying to do it. So in the low of yesterday or today, that's what I was looking for, the 172s to 170 area. I was able to get the 169s, guys. If you look, half of 170 is about 85 bucks. So this is slightly over, right? Slightly over 0.5%, slightly under, up to you. Still was a good trade for next Friday here. This was able to get us our 0.5% and to the higher end of the range here. If you wanted your full 1%, the greedy long trade on this, it would have put you about the 172.5s. 172.5s, kind of a bit too high for my liking, guys. As I said, it's an index, so you won't get the full 1% trades with further away strikes, like sometimes you find on semiconductors or some technology stocks. So for this one, I was happy going for the 0.5% trade around the 169, 170 area for next Friday. I'm hoping for, but well, in this point, I'm putting money on it, putting money on them, trying to set the higher low here compared to it. And if not, if we do get a sign, we'll be getting a sign at the lower end of the range here, guys. Ton of support. And as I'm saying, the alpha for this trade right here is, confluence of a couple things, right? Trying to set the daily higher lows compared to this low here. We're lagging behind the other major indexes. We have a major area of support down here. And yeah, that's what we're looking at. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to try to make these videos a bit shorter, guys. But if you did like it, I would very much appreciate if you do like it, push the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know down in the comments which stocks you want me to cover. I kind of cover the major ones that everybody kind of looks at, guys. But if you want me to go more, and whenever I find plays, of course, you'll see different names pop up, right? I have a huge watch list of stuff. So no shortage of stocks that we're going to go over. And yeah, if you have any recommendations, anything you want me to look at, put them down in the comments. Have a great long weekend. I love you all. Make the most of it. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Actually, no, I'll be recording some videos on specific items over the weekend. I want to start doing that as well. But anyways, talk to you guys soon.